Hi everyone, and welcome to the Burnt Brass Homestead channel. Today, I talk about how you can get free mulch, wood chips, and compost leaves for your garden. A lot of townships and counties offer free composting services to its residents and encourage residents to compost for themselves. Some county sites even have instructions on how to start composting at home. Why? Because it reduces the amount of waste going into landfills. Apparently, compostable materials such as yard and kitchen waste make up more than 30% of household waste. So, if we put waste or nutrients back into our gardens, we can reduce what is going into the landfill. I recommend going to your county or township's website to see if they offer this service. And if they do, that's wonderful, because you essentially have your garden needs for free, meaning you can use the composted leaves and mulch to fill your raised beds or containers to grow food. I did a couple videos on budget gardening, so check those out if you're on a tight budget but still want to grow your own food. Here, the front loader is being used to turn and push back the mulch to make room for more. This location has people coming and going all day, whether to drop branches off, leaves, or small logs, or whether to pick up mulch and wood chips. So the mulch and wood chips need to be refilled. The front loader can also be requested to fill your truck bed for $5. That's not bad at all. So as you can see, there is a steady supply of both mulch and wood chips to fulfill your needs. So here I am getting composted leaves that was used to fill the container garden. This was the first year since living in an apartment that I did container gardening. I have enough room to plant everything I want to grow in ground, but I guess I did container gardening to convince those who may not have a yard or those who live in the concrete jungle, meaning the city, can see that you can grow in containers. So even if you have your whole backyard as being concrete, you can still grow in 5-gallon buckets. Full disclosure, we grew our tomatoes and zucchini in pots this year. Even though we got enough tomatoes this year to eat with all of our salads and had enough to freeze, we would have gotten much more had I used 5-gallon buckets. Instead, I reused 2.5-gallon pots that were left over from the hedges used to form our natural boundary around the homestead. I think the roots were too confined, so I will likely not use those 2-gallon or 2.5-gallon pots again. This is why it's so important to start gardening now, to get through those trials and errors and to get a little experience under your belt. You don't want to learn to garden in the midst of troubled times. The sacks I am using had chicken feed in them at one point. They are durable, and the size makes it easy and convenient to fill and carry. So instead of throwing them away, I reused them to get a few bags of compost leaves, mulch, or wood chips when I need it. I want to point out that you do not need to own, rent, or borrow a truck. The point here is to show you that a car, if that's all you have, can get the job done. I really started using the composting site to get bark to fill the walk path to block weeds from growing. I also relied heavily on the compost site to slowly expand the garden beds on the homestead. It was more convenient to fill the totes and bags with these items I needed at the time than to travel 20 minutes to rent a truck, 20 minutes to fill out paperwork for the rental of the truck, then another 20 or so minutes to travel to the mulch site, then more time to travel back home to unload everything before spending another 20-30 minutes to return the truck. This is my second trip to the site. The first time around, I forgot the bucket. The bucket is helpful to hold the sack in place and upright as I fill them. It takes me about 30 minutes to fill up 10 of these sacks. and that's with quick breaks in between. This is a different day at the composting site. As you can see, we brought the truck out. Now, some composting sites have front loaders, but it was already in use on this day, so we decided to fill the bed by hand. This right here beats a gym membership any day, as it is a workout and it benefits our way of life. These wood chips will be used to replenish the walk paths at the homestead. Another way to get free wood chips is to sign up for Chip Drop, which is a program that drop off wood chips and or logs to your home for free. I will leave their link in the description. However, I highly recommend you read the details of the Chip Drop program before signing up for it, as they do not do partial drop off. You will be required to take the whole truckload of whatever it is they're dropping off that you sign up for. These are photos from Chip Drop's website. They are from people who received a drop-off not realizing the massive size of the load, which could be as much as 20 cubic yards. Again, townships and counties encourage its residents to compost to reduce the amount of waste that has to be collected, but it does also help the environment. In addition to pickup, residents are typically allowed to drop off leaves, brush, and grass clippings. And for the most part, it's free, depending on the amount of waste you have to drop off. Where I live, treated lumber is not allowed, which is a great thing. But check your township to see if they also reject treated lumber. Now, why pay for soil when you can get it for free? If your township offered these services, then by all means, I highly recommend you take advantage of them. My township grinds stone and screens soil the same way a business does, except your local township may not add mushroom soil or food scraps to the soil. But this is something you can do very easily. I will do another video on how we compost here on the homestead using compost leaves and mulch from the composting site with chicken scraps and chicken bedding from with kitchen scraps and chicken bedding from the homestead. Also, posting comments and questions will help this content be picked up by YouTube.